Hey everyone! This is just going to be background visual for now, but we will see what else I'm going to be putting down because I'm just like making some troops or whatever. But as today is Halloween, I figured I would like to tell you about somewhat of a scary-ish story. Not really scary, but kind of a ghost-ish story. Maybe. Anyways, to actually give you the full effect, I need to take you back to when my grandfather didn't own the building that I was living in. So now this is from what I was told. This was way before I was born. So I'm just going by what somebody else told me, who actually lived in the building before my grandfather even bought it. She actually lived there because my grandfather just happened to let her stay. When I was living there, she saw me brought home and everything. So anyways, let me just go on with the story. So the way my apartment building is kind of set, once you go in from the front door of the entire apartment building, you kind of just, it's like a long hallway, like a long kind of, I don't know, darkish hallway. They never had the lights on in the afternoon, so it was kind of like pretty dark. The reason why that the hallway was pretty dark was because there was no windows when you first come in, but you could only see a stream of light coming from like the outside behind you, which was like just a small little window. So yeah, then you had I would say it was like a big wooden door. It's kind of like a big wooden door. Let me just double check real quick because I could still see the door on Google Maps. Let me just double check. Okay, so you see the door. Now, there was this little black banister wasn't there. They kind of like knocked down, I guess, something just to put that banister there. But anyways, I'm going too far into it. So you see this little kind of window-ish? That was what I was talking to you about. And on top of all that, this door was actually so much better looking. It was a brown, but it wasn't a wooden, I thought it was a wooden door because it was brown, but now that I see it, it was more of a metal door. So there you go. So I pretty much gave you a visual on kind of how the hallway would be. It was pretty narrow, and you could probably just possibly fit 1.5 people. I don't know, why would you fit 1.5 people side by side? But anyways, so you could probably fit 1.5 persons or 2 children in this hallway side by side. Then you reach a point where you could see pretty much my grandfather's apartment. And before then, like a little bit before then, was a staircase going up. And right next to where their apartment was, you see a staircase going down. That would be leading towards the basement and the backyard, which was not really a backyard, which was a side yard. I'm sorry. That side yard would lead to the parking lot, which was huge. But that's besides the point. The point is that so the majority of this whole entire apartment building was a spiral staircase. Spiral staircase, if you actually went all the way up to the top, you would see all the way to the bottom. I lived on the 3rd floor. So, supposedly, there was a little boy, well, actually, 2 little boys, who lived in the apartment that I lived in. So, I actually don't recall when this actually happened. The lady was in her 90s, so it could have been during her 20s, her 30s. I don't know. I didn't ask. I was a kid at the time when she told me the story. Or she told me the story just to scare me. I have no idea. But things were a little bit odd before and after she told me. So, what happened was that I lived in that apartment, but we kind of moved in when those people were the only people that lived there after the fact. So the apartment was kind of run down. No one really fixed it. And when my grandfather bought it, he really didn't fix it. But anyways, I'm going back and forth. I need to stick to the story. So one day, or one night, I'm sorry, they were horsing around. Now, the way the top floor is that there's 2 apartments, one on each side, and there's kind of like a small quote bridge-ish kind of thing that leads from one apartment to the other, and you could go downstairs. Okay, so let me just explain. I'm coming out of my apartment, which was pretty much if you're going up the stairs on the left-hand side. I look right, and there is obviously the staircase. I look straight ahead. There is the other person's apartment. The walkway, you can probably fit 2 people side by side. 2 grown people. And the railing was quite tall, but I mean, the last time I was there was about, I was actually pretty grown, so like, I would say chest high. Honestly, I don't know how the kid fell over, but he did. So anyways, they were horsing around, they were playing. And one of the brothers, I don't know, older or younger, pushed the other brother. And the kid actually fell over and went all the way down to the 1st floor. Nuts, right? The lady who had lived across the hall from me told me that he pretty much plummeted to his death head first, and I mean, she didn't really see the act, but she heard afterwards the kid screaming and crying, and when she went out, she saw that the kid was already gone. She told me that the scene was horrific. It was just, I mean, he fell 3 stories. So, and not only that, was that if you actually look down below, there was pretty much a banister, because obviously it was going down to the basement. So there was actually a railing cutting off the 1st floor to the basement area. So it was kind of like a small horseshoe kind of thing. So he kind of like pretty much, not only did he fall straight down, but his body just hit the railing, and yeah, you could imagine. It was terrible. So, years go by, and then they sell the apartment building for pretty cheap. My grandfather said that it was cheap, but he had to actually have somebody else help him out and pay for it. And then he bought out said person, whom I do not know. Again, like I said, my father decided to move into that building. He fixed up the whole entire apartment. He said that it was just terrible. And I remember seeing a lot of the patchwork that he did. There was like brown boards that he had to put on the walls just to insulate the house, well, the apartment, because the wall behind it was not good. So we had like, I don't know, this brownish kind of wall. It looked kind of wooden, but yeah, so that's what we had for one of the bedrooms, but that's besides the point. Again, so there was like a little incidences before and after, and one of the instances before was I was in bed. I was going to sleep. I had just gotten my first cat. Well, my mother's first cat, but like we had gotten a cat, and she was a little kitten at the time. She actually lived to 21, but again, like, besides the point. So she was sleeping with me, and she kind of like, for some reason, woke me up. Well, I know why, and you're gonna know why, but she woke me up, and I looked over, and my bed is placed close to the wall, and across from my bed is pretty much two windows. Those windows had, I'm sorry, like, I have phlegm, but I want to do this for Halloween. So anyways, the windows had this type of like sheet over it where it kind of, you couldn't see any light. So it was supposed to be pitch black, but in the middle of the room, I saw kind of like a slight pillar of light. And I don't know if it was because I was just way too tired, or because I really did see it, or maybe it was my dream. But I saw the pillar of light. I saw like an orb right dead center in that pillar of light, and it was just floating around. And for some reason, I did not feel scared enough to just call out my mom. I was not going to go right into it because it was just right into my room. It, like, in the middle of my room. And I didn't feel threatened. So what I did was I turned over, went right back to sleep. To be honest, I always assumed, even at that age, that there was just some sort of explanation. And even though I was kind of religious at that time, I still thought that there was just some explanation that I didn't even have to look into. So that's that with that. There was another instance where I would say I don't know how young I was, but I do remember just finding out what happened to this little boy, and I think that was just all in my head. I felt like maybe I was just overthinking it, But one night I had a dream where I wasn't even playing with my brother. I wasn't doing anything abnormal. I was just standing right in the hallway, like I just came out of my apartment, and I was just standing there. I was looking out, and if you peer straight ahead of you, you'll see a huge window. It was actually really, really big. So, okay, so you could see the bathroom. This would be the bathroom window. And ew, they really made this house look terrible. But anyways, my grandfather took care of it so well, that didn't happen. So anyways, this would have been the window. This was my window. That was my kitchen. Yeah, that looks like a face. Anyways, so, and these two are the windows that peer into the hallway. So, let me just take that off. You could technically see how big the windows are. So, I was just, in my dream, I was looking out the window, and I don't know what happened, but something pushed me. And it was, like I said, it wasn't my brother, because my brother wasn't there in my dream. And I had tried to grab onto the banister. And it was just really weird, because I called out for my mother, for my father, for my brother, like whomever I can call out. I called out anybody's name. Nobody came. So eventually I slipped. I couldn't hold on any longer, so I slipped. And when I fell in a certain way where I didn't fall straight down, but I fell on the other landing, which was pretty creepy. And it was close to my aunt's house at the time. And I hit the stairs with my back. I was just totally, I felt it. Honestly, I felt it. It just took out all the breath of my body. Just all of it. And I got up, and I'm holding my back, and I'm trying to walk up the steps. And from what I remember today is I woke up. That's what I remember. I don't remember going into the house. I remember just waking up. And my back was hurt. I had this bruise on my back. My mom looked at the bruise, and she was just like, "What happened? What did you do?" I didn't know what to say. I have no idea what happened. So it was just really weird to me at the time. I'm trying to... Anyways, yeah. So it was really weird to me. I had no clue of what went down. So that was that. The next one was really weird. My sibling, my brother, and my two cousins, we lived in the same apartment building, so we kind of got in trouble together. If one got in trouble, we all got in trouble. So we wanted to go upstairs to the roof. It wasn't a dangerous roof. It was just, they didn't want us up there. So we were playing around with the latches. And it was just, those little hooks. So we unhooked one, we unhooked the other. We were going to unlock the other one. We didn't get to do that when my father found us all on the staircase going to the roof. And we got in such deep trouble. They waited until my uncle came home, and my uncle brought my cousins up to the third floor, and my dad had already like locked everything. And when we had when we were standing there, it was my mom, my dad, my aunt, my uncle, and each one of us was going to get hit. Like, there was not any doubt in my mind. So I was the eldest. I was going to get hit first. As soon as he raised his hand, the door to the roof like swung open. It wasn't even windy. I'm not even going to lie. It was like a nice summer day or night. Yeah, it was a summer night. And it wasn't windy at all. It just blew right open, and it was pretty creepy because the locks were supposed to be on. But I mean, this is what I went through. This is what I know, and if you don't believe me, then well, this is just another story that you could chalk up to there has to be an explanation. Or you could just say that I'm a storyteller and I'm not a very good one, because, to be honest, I can't even make up this stuff. And in between, like, from the time that I started noticing that there was some creepiness going on, I felt every time I was on my stomach that someone would just rub my back. It was just the weirdest things. And I didn't felt threatened. So I just let it go on. I didn't even care. It was my home. I loved my home. I was brokenhearted when I had to leave, but yeah. Some people could probably say he was just a little perverted kid that just wanted to touch a girl, but to be honest, I didn't think that. So think whatever you want to think, and that is one of my stories. I have a couple of stories that are creepy, but I'll wait until next October to let you know what happened. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I know my voice is raspy. It sounds gurgly because I've had like a cold for forever, I feel. And it keeps going on and off, on and off, and on and off. And I don't know why, but it just does. And what are you gonna do? But like I said, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to know more about the things that I talk about, feel free to subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, trolls will be ignored. So sorry about that, but I'm not going to give in. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.